Hello, welcome to this Hangout on Air, which is now live. Icehouse, drinking Icehouse here on the Anti-War channel. Introduced in 1993, you might remember, 25 years ago. It was marketed as a premium, nice smoke, an above premium beer. Okay. I think I'll save this bottle. Above premium. Here's the original bottle design. You might remember these short neck bottles. Showing wintertime at the old Plank Road Brewery. Is it an, well, we know it's a beer, but is it an ale? Is it a lager? Well, the bottle says ale. Okay. The Miller blog indicated that it was a lager as well as Keystone. What do I think? Well, I know Keystone says ale on the cans and always has said ale. That could be for legal reasons. Oh, look at this amber gold. It's dark almost to amber. You notice that? You'll find that Icehouse now when the light's getting it, it's a little more gold as the lights from outside's hitting it. You will find that it's darker than average. It could just be for legal reasons. Can't say beer in certain states, so you say ale, like in Texas. This bottle says 07. That's the Albany, Georgia brewery. It's yeasty. It's corn syrupy in the nose. It's made with water, barley malt, not malt extract, actual barley malt. Now the hops are hop extract. Corn syrup, Maltose, Dextrose, yeast, and the hop extract, which is common in brewing, you see. I've reviewed it on my main channel and done examinations for it, did double downs for it, all of that. We used to get 12 packs of cans here, but we don't any longer. We get 12 packs of bottles. The opposite is true for like Icehouse, natural ice. Natural ice, we used to get cans and bottles. Now only cans. Same with Busch Light. Oh, it's probably based on what sells around, where they're distributing it. And the bottles apparently do well. I see them at Thurns, Winn-Dixie. I bought my 12-pack this morning at Food for Less. After their 10% add-on to their cost, it came to $7.46 a 12-pack. $7.46 per 12-pack. We do get the 24-ounce tall cans around here, though. And the 18-ounce bottles, but you don't see them too much. They do exist around the 18-ounce. That's 1.5 servings. The Icehouse Edge kind of fell away here. Thurns used to have 4 packs. It was an old man that came in and bought them every day, but he might have passed away and they stopped selling it. There's definitely a hop bite here. I'm thinking the IBUs must be around 17, higher than normal, which makes sense. They would have to be to balance out the sweetness that you get from the elevated gravity, the 5.5% alcohol by volume. The Edge, yeah, you'll see it at like Big River, which is the Shell convenience store, Shell gas, and at Circle K, probably, and Racetrack. You usually notice that it'll be either 24-ounce cans or even more likely for the Edge, the 8% that's been out since 2012, the 16-ounce singles. Be like $1.29, something like that. $1.19, depends on the store. Not really that good of a deal, but people will pick one up. When I was at Food for Less today, they had 6 packs of tall cans, you know, the 16-ounce, the pint cans of Milwaukee's Best Ice, which came out a year after the Icehouse, and that was, let's add the 10%, $4.39. $4.39 for a 6-pack of pint cans. That's not too bad. $4.39 divided by 6 divided by 16 times 12 times 12. That would be $6.55. $6.59. I mean, $6.59 a 12-pack if they were in the normal size cans. But the Milwaukee's Best. So we don't get the 12 packs anymore or the 30 packs. It just seems to sell in the quart cans does well for the Milwaukee's Best quart cans. 2 for $2.75 now. 2 for $2.75. And the 6-pack of pint cans around here now. Your area could be different. Okay, times 12 times 12. It didn't come out right. Let's see, 2.75 divided by 2 divided by 32. Oh, that's what I did wrong. Times 12 times 12. $6.19 if you bought it in that per ounce. So if you bought it 2 quart cans for $2.75, then translate it into a 12-pack, it would be $6.19. That's a pretty good deal around here. Your state may be much better, you see. But in Louisiana, that's a good deal for, I like that little hop bite. I gotta tell you, I like that yeasty breadiness, that bread crust. It could be cheaper in your area. We do get liquor. Our whiskey and gin and brandy and rum tend to be cheap around here. Like you can get Parmesan or E&J, but especially Parmesan VS brandy for $9.97 at Walmart. That's about as cheap as you'll find it. Oh, you can get Canadian whiskey for less than $8 a bottle at Walmart. You can get Canadian whiskey actually for $5.96 a bottle at Walmart. The regular bottle. So what am I talking about? So it's very cheap, you know, around here. Wine, about $15 for the 4,000 milliliter bottle of wine. Actually, you can get it cheaper than that because you can get, for $14, you can get a 5-liter box wine from, like, what's that, Franzia? You say, well, is it any good? I don't know if it's any good. I've never had it, but I mean, $14 for a box, for a 5,000 milliliter container of blush wine. I mean, it sounds all right. John and Nilly says, good afternoon, Ron. I've got some Icehouse in the fridge. Going to grab one now as I watch. Cheers. You could join me if you want. John, if you're not at work. Icehouse is more common in cans here in Georgia. Although you can still find bottles if you know where to look. Yeah, I was talking about Keystone was gone in bottles, and lo and behold, there it was in Texas, Keystone. But not too common. Oh. I don't think I can send the Hangout link because oh, you work. I'm not connected to you on Google Plus through this account. Let me see. What I'll do. Well, it's not that big of a deal, but what I'll do is I'll type in your name, John. Okay. go with that King Cobra moniker, avatar, and then it says I'm following you. Huh. Let's see. Try to send you a message through there. Hangout. Google Hangouts. Oh, it's routing me through my other account. Hey, I'm not supposed to be on 2 accounts at once, am I? Yet I am. All right, so okay. All right. Copy. Copy, damn it. Oh, excuse my language. All right. There we go. Copy. And you're about to get the link. For what it's worth, if you want to join, fine. If not, I understand. Jack Daniel's Old Number 7 green label. But that's not the number 7. That's Old Number 7. They just use an old-fashioned label. I'd like to get a hold of that just for the unusual character of it. But it's not the actual green label, not the number 7. Hope this doesn't. Okay. We're all right now. All right, so back to Icehouse. John and Neely had posted some new Jack Daniel's offerings. Well, I let my friend David try the number 7. He said, I don't know, it's almost like it's better than Black Label Old Number 7 Jack Daniels. I said, oh, that's almost like an atrocity. It's almost like a heresy to say. That's what I told him. I said, that's a heresy to say that. He said, that's just the way I feel about it. But he has a lot of negative things to say about Jack Daniels because he doesn't like the way they dropped the proof from 90 to 80. I said, yeah, but it's actually more popular now than when it was 90 proof. The popularity went up. Of course, bourbon in general went up in popularity, so that's probably more to it than that, than just the proof. His friend Kevin is exclusively a Jack Daniel's drinker. I mean, you go to Hot Rods, River Ridge Hot Rods, where we shot 2 videos, and he's got hundreds, well, not hundreds, but dozens. He's going through hundreds, dozens of Jack Daniel's bottles that he's keeping. I don't know why he's keeping those, but there's some reason. And he has all these old Jack Daniel's cards and posters. And he said he gets a special tour if he goes up there because he's a squire, what's called a Jack Daniel's squire, like a special member of their community. He said, you wouldn't get that tour. The tour I went on was nice, but it was $17. I mean, it was not worth $17. I don't think. I mean, it was nice. I got to see it. It's like a tourist tour. You know what I'm talking about. You see some things, but it's presentation type thing. I mean, they take you into the aging room and the charcoal filter room and all that. But I don't know. I like the Miller tour. Like we're talking about Icehouse, right? Plank Road Brewery. They call it Plank Road Brewery because that's where Miller was started, on Plank Road. A road that was actually made out of planks. And it was the old brewery. And they kind of take you more into the guts. And it's more of a less put on tour than Jack Daniel's. Jack Daniel's kind of like a faux, folksy, like kind of fake tour in a way. But I like the way some guys were challenging the tour guide, not in an ugly way. And it was funny that he got kind of defensive about it. It was kind of comical. There's John and Neely. Hello. Well, I made it. I was able to send you a link. You see, I'm down to the bottom third, right?
Got mine right here. First beer of the day.
And you see that it's more, yeah, it's like amber gold. It's not just yellow fizzy stuff. It's amber gold fizzy stuff.
Yeah, I've noticed that Icehouse is a little bit darker than your standard ice beer.
I was reading the ingredients earlier. Yep, look how dark.
Mm-hmm.
I was reading the ingredients, you know, water, barley malt, corn syrup, maltose, dextrose, yeast, and hop extract. And it does taste like it's a little higher IBU than average, just to balance out that sweetness that you would probably get if you didn't.
Yeah, it does have a nice hop bite to it. It's one of my standby beers. You know, I always have some macros in the fridge. You know, Icehouse is popular. Old Milwaukee, PBR.
Yeah, and I just finished mine off. I mean, it's too hot around here still. It's so hot. I have my windows open. I never run the AC in October just because it's like, no, it's October. You shouldn't be running the AC in October. But really, it's like, yeah, it's October, but it feels like August. So it's hot. All right. Well, I polished that off rather quickly. That's my second beer of today.
Let's see. So I think you probably were talking about it earlier, but it's interesting that Icehouse is actually an ale.
Well, now I was asking that question, but I think I know the answer. It says ale.
Right.
But if you look at the MillerCoors blog, it says we produce 5 ice lagers.
Mm-hmm.
It lists Icehouse and Keystone. And so I said, nah. I think it's one of those legal things, you know, like they want to just, yeah, they want to make a standard beer. They don't want to change, I mean, a standard label. They don't want to change the label state to state. So they know if they call it ale, then they don't run into trouble if it goes to Texas, right? Ta-da.
Right.
But it is kind of like untrue. If they're saying it's an ale and it's a lager, it's not true. But I guess they figure in, ain't nobody going to take us to court over that.
Right.
They're more worried about the Texas Alcohol Bureau than some consumer, you know, that is never going to do that, right? How many people are looking at the label? Like, besides you and myself, nobody, right? So,
yeah, highly unlikely.
What's your code?
It says October 29th, 18, and then there's some other code underneath that, but so,
Mine is December 31st.
Wow.
Not bad, huh? I had to root around. I went and I pulled the older to the, I went and reached to the back and got the freshest one, okay? Oh, yeah, I'm getting EO7, which is Albany, Georgia.
Mine is G07.
You get the Albany also. Well, that makes sense. You're in Georgia, but we've been getting a lot of 07s in the last year or two. I guess they've kind of switched us up to the eastern region. We used to get a lot of 04, which is Fort Worth, but looks like they decided to get us into more of the Albany, Georgia territory. What do you pay for this?
We can get the cans, the 12-ounce cans and 18 packs here. It's probably the most popular configuration in my area, and I think it was $10.99 for an 18 pack.
Golly.
Pretty cheap.
$10.99.
Yeah, the 18 packs of the Icehouse are pretty popular here.
That's a little bit cheaper than what I paid for a 12-pack, because if you converted it to a 12-pack, it'd be $7.33.
Mm-hmm.
And I paid 13 cents more, $7.46. But I don't think that's a bad price, $7.46 for a 12-pack of bottles.
No, not at all.
I tend to prefer bottles, but maybe I'm a weirdo.
Yeah, I like bottles better too, but you know, I guess it really doesn't matter. We're pouring them in glasses anyway, but
Doesn't matter.
something about a glass bottle, you know.
I prefer draft, but I bet you we won't find Icehouse on draft anywhere.
That would be pretty cool if they had it on draft somewhere. It's funny because Bud Ice, or not Bud Ice, or yeah, isn't it Bud Ice that has the claim, the first ice beer or the first draft beer to be ice brewed or something like that? Is that Bud Ice or?
Yeah, and they've always said that too. That's not like some new thing they said.
Right. So where?
It's America's first draft beer to be ice brewed.
Right. Well, I've never seen it. I've never seen it on draft.
Yeah, it's packaged draft. My friend Paul was talking about that on the phone with me one day. He said, "Man, I really like Bud Ice." I said, "Why do you like it so much?" Well, he tells me this, and believe me, he ain't gonna research. He's not gonna research it ever. Okay, people. He says he used to do hangouts with us a lot, but he says, "You ever notice that Bud Ice tastes like draft beer?" And I said, "It is a draft beer." I said, "How interesting that you would say that. You had no knowledge of that, but you mentioned it, and it is. It's the only ice beer that's draft. It's cold filtered. It's not pasteurized." Oh yeah, because I remember back 20 years ago, you used to like to drink Bud Ice. I went out to Houston. Yeah, when he was living in Houston in '98 and later, and he said, let's get Bud Ice, you know, and that's funny, you know. He always liked that beer. He said, "I love this beer so much," you know, and he always liked Budweiser, just regular Budweiser. And his wife said, "I'm a Bud girl," and so it's funny listening to them talk, knowing all the backstory about the people's hatred of Budweiser. You know, the people. You know what people I'm talking about.
Yeah, right.
Well, I'm gonna let you talk about it. I'm gonna get some water now because I'm out of beer.
All right. Well, I've had this beer many times. Like I said, it's one of my standby beers. 5.5%, perfect ABV for me for this type, you know, for good sessionability, and just it's light-bodied enough and refreshing enough to where you could drink a few of these and really have a good afternoon, evening, you know, watching the game or something like that. The 6.9% that came out didn't last very long. Obviously, there was a huge push for them to go back to the original 5.5, which is pretty interesting because it means that there's a lot of loyal Icehouse drinkers out there, and they wanted their original Icehouse back, and they got it. I was hoping that maybe they would keep both on the market, just because I did like the 6.9%, but the 5.5% is a little bit more in my wheelhouse for everyday drinking. But yeah, I mean, it's always been something that I've enjoyed. It's got just enough of a hop bite, like Jay said, on the back end to really balance it out. It does have a nice malt forward presentation. It's just a good beer. But yeah, I was talking while you stepped away there about that when they came out with the 6.9.
Yeah, I could hear you the whole time.
Oh, okay. And it's pretty cool that, you know, there's a lot of, I think it made me realize, you know, that there's a lot of people out there that are really loyal to Icehouse, you know, being the first American ice beer, and people, you know, you don't really hear too much about it anymore. When they first came out, you used to see ads, you would hear radio ads, and of course the television advertisements. And now they've gotten to the point where they don't really need that. But when they switched it up, man, that kind of enraged a lot of people, and that pushback was pretty cool to see everybody fighting to get the 5.5 back on the shelves. And then there's still that big sign when you came to visit. We were driving to Atlanta. That big billboard. It says, you know, Icehouse now back to the original formula. They still have that sign up on I-85.
Yeah, they had a few of those around here. They're not around anymore. They went back to the Takabaka signs everywhere. You would be amazed, like if you came here and you noticed what I've been saying. If you went on any major highway, you see Takabaka everywhere. It's like, when I was a child, I thought that was like the most popular vodka in the world. I didn't know. I mean, you don't know. You see it, so you think, oh, you know, this is like the great thing. You don't realize it's just because it's owned by people that are here. But and they change the signs out all the time, like during carnival season. Taka Mardi Gras, what do they call it? King cake vodka. King cake vodka. I bet that's a headache in a bottle. But anyway, well, folks, tomorrow night, I'm not going to do the International Beer Review Guild hangout. We're not going to host it tomorrow night because I'm going to go work at bingo. And now, Knights of Columbus bingo. And John and Neil, you and all you other viewers out there, I'll say you should join the Knights of Columbus because the dues are, you know, minuscule. Like, it's so low. Let's see what it is. $3.33 a month. I'm pretty sure people could afford that. Right. You meet a lot of interesting people. It's kind of a community camaraderie. You know, you meet people. Like, I didn't know any of these people before I joined 6 years ago. So you meet a lot of people. And I mean, some people you're not going to like. They're going to get on your nerves. That's typical for any club organization, you know. But generally, it's kind of nice being this Catholic. And I'm Catholic. And so makes sense. It's a men's organization. There's a women's group, too, part of it. The women have their own thing. So people are saying, oh, here comes, he's doing this for propaganda. Yes, that's true. I am doing it for propaganda. I'm saying you should join. You would like it. But that's me promoting it, okay? But then the next Friday, the 12th, the 19th, the 26th, I might go to a high school game one night. I didn't go to any high school games last year. I used to go to a lot. Rarely go now, but I might. But otherwise, I'll probably be doing those International Beer Review Guild on the main channel. You know what I mean? Right. Hey, you gotta keep it going. You know, next man up. Yeah, the founder split with the program, but those things happen a lot in the beer world. I've noticed. Ha ha ha. Now, and then Eric Thomas Metal 75 is still doing his Wednesday night hangouts, except when he abruptly changes the schedule. After you change your schedule to accommodate, and then he changes it again. Eric's going to probably find out about this hangout. He'll say, I'm in a band. I'm in a band. I'm going to say, I know that, Eric. But I do join most of his hangouts. He's got fall beers coming up on the 10th, October Fall Pumpkin. Pumpkin could be a problem. Pumpkin beers used to flood this market. Now, you could barely find a pumpkin beer. Pumpkin beers are pretty popular here. It's funny. There's all these craft pumpkin beers on the market. You know, I tried the Dogfish Head Pumpkin Ale. UFO makes a pumpkin beer. A few other ones. And my favorite is still the Blue Moon, Harvest Moon. That is still the best one that I've had. Yeah, I used to be able to get it on draft, and it was really good on draft. Yeah, that's right. They have that at Mathern's in the 6-pack. But, man, you know, I just bought this 12-pack. Okay, now look. 12-pack, 12 bottles of Icehouse for $7.46. I can go to Mathern's and get a 6-pack of Blue Moon Pumpkin Ale for what, $8.99? Yeah. Now let's think about this for a moment. What sounds better? 12 for $7.46 or 6 for $8.99? I think I'd rather drink Icehouse. Although I like the Blue Moon. I'm like you. I think it's a really good pumpkin beer. Yeah. But, oh, man. I probably wouldn't buy a 6-pack either. I can that one's available in singles at my grocery store. I can do a pick your own 6-pack, so you get to try a lot of different things. So I'll probably pick one up for next week. I can make my own 6-pack, but hell, excuse my language, that's $10.99. Yeah. Well, what's the benefit of that? I've tried everything on their rack. I said, well, they got a lot of stuff. I tried them all. I may as well pay the $8.99. But I noticed that when Dixie has Oktoberfest beers, Yingling, Blue Moon, not Blue Moon, Yingling, Samuel Adams, and one other one. It could be Blue Moon. They might have a sale. It's $7.99. Whatever 6-pack you buy over that display, that end cap, is $7.99. So I might do that. There is this Missouri pumpkin beer, Imperial Pumpkin Stout pumpkin beer that Mathern's has for like $3.99. That's a lot of money. But it is 10%. It's kind of a special one, that pumpkin smash.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I have to think about it. But that's the 10th. So I would like to do mine on the 12th, the 19th, 26th. So, yeah, if I don't go to a high school game, I mean, high school football is, when I was in high school, I liked it.
Yeah.
Now when I watch it, it's so amateur. Well, what do you expect?
It really is. Yeah, especially even some of the college games. You know, I'm into the NFL a lot, and I watch college. You know, I watch Auburn, obviously, because that's my college team. And then some of the other games, but there are a lot of college teams out there that, I mean, it's amateur hour out there. You're watching, you're like, what the heck is going on? This isn't football. Especially with some of the smaller schools, the real small schools, you know.
I like college football more than pro. I do watch a lot of it. I do watch the NFL, though. I can't say I don't. High school, it's just the quality is poor. But that goes with the territory. I mean, I should not even say that, because people are going to say, what do you expect? They're in high school. They're 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. What do you think? They're experts at the game? Well, no, they're not. I understand that. But I'm sitting in the stadium and I'm saying, oh, man, I don't know. I kind of like it. Like if they break a long run, like they'll do a handoff and they'll run like 70 yards and all the kids are screaming and the band plays, da, 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 you know, and that's kind of nice. But I don't know. I can't take too much of it. 35 years ago, we would always go to games. But naturally, I was the person that got to drive, because my parents were kind of liberal about letting me drive. So they would say, oh, yeah, you can go, you know, you could drive to New Orleans. Whereas my friends, their parents would never dream of that, you know.
Right.
So they would always say, you can drive. I'll say, and you're going to help me pay. Well, at least I did that, because I didn't let them take advantage of me. You know, my friends say, you know, let's all go down to New Orleans to their French Quarter.
Yeah.
I say, okay, let's see. It's got a Volkswagen Beetle that gets good gas mileage. Gas, back then gas was 87 cents a gallon, 85 cents a gallon. Okay, all right, give me $2 a piece. They'd do it, you know, they'd do it. But it was only fair. I mean, I'm sitting there with the golden ticket, right?
Right.
Their parents weren't gonna let them drive out of town, out of this town, because I live in a suburb of New Orleans. So, but anyway, all right, other topics. I have this wine. I've been drinking on it. It's really pleasant. It's the Livingston Cellars Blush Chablis. I'll go get the bottle. I'll show you.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to pick up a bottle of that.
This water's good. All right, hold on. But yeah, I watch a lot of college football, and I go to a lot of games. I've driven on road trips over the years to Fort Worth, Texas. That was a good 8-hour drive. Birmingham to Legion Field. Georgia, I don't believe so. No. Alabama, yes. Birmingham, Tuscaloosa. Went to the Alabama Stadium, Tuscaloosa, the Crimson Tide, 2 years in a row. What? That's an interesting experience.
I went to the Iron Bowl back in God, it's been so long ago. I remember sitting in the nosebleeds. And I was just thinking to myself, man, I'd much rather just be home watching this game.
Yeah, well,
Craziness.
at the Alabama Crimson Tide game, I went and I paid, I'm telling you the truth, I paid $10 each time. Cash money on the street. I didn't go to Ticketmaster, I used Street Master. And they talk, you know, these guys, ain't no way, man. I said, don't worry about it. Oh, okay. Like, right. You're going to hold on to that ticket and you're going to be keeping that ticket is what you're going to be doing. But, so you can work some good deals out. Yeah, so Texas, Mississippi, Tennessee, Alabama. I guess that's where I've been to for college games. Pro football, of course, the Saints. Been to a lot of different stadiums still around the country as far as football, but for college games, only pro games was the Superdome.
I'd like to go to the new Mercedes-Benz Superdome. Remember we drove by it actually going to the Braves game.
Oh, you mean Mercedes-Benz Stadium? Yeah.
You said yeah, I get. Oh yeah, Superdome is New Orleans, Stadium is Atlanta. Yeah, that thing is. I mean, it's even more ridiculous and like driving by it. It's like, wow, TV doesn't really do it justice. It's huge.
I know. We were just driving around down this common street, really.
Yeah.
Common street, and then I said, and then it was weird, wasn't it? It was like a neighborhood, houses. There's a house. There's a dog. There's somebody watering their garden. And then, like the next block, you're in downtown.
Right.
And there's this huge stadium. And then there's this big skyscraper. And I said, well, golly. And then we drove a little more. We didn't go far. A block or 2 blocks. And then there's back into, like, not big buildings. Right? And then we got to walk up a mountain. Got to walk up a mountain to go to the game. Well, I didn't really know that. It was a mountain there. Seemed like a good deal. It was a good deal. $5.
Much easier going back though to the car, so it wasn't too bad on the way back.
Walking up the mountain was bad. I paid $5 to park. That was good. But you had to walk up. Now walking down the mountain, I guess it was really a hill, right? A huge hill.
A really big hill, yeah.
It was like 1 foot. It was like 1 foot short of a mountain, and then down was pretty easy. All right, there it is. This is the old label. This wine might be old, but it doesn't taste rancid or anything. And I drank some with my kidney beans for lunch. I had some red kidney beans. I put some onions in it, and I had some Brian smoked sausage, hot, and and then I finished off with some Nature's Own whole wheat bread with butter, not margarine, people, butter. And this wine really paired well with the lunch. I mean, I only had about 4 ounces of it, but yeah, it's all right. I got such a deal on the closeout, but it's usually about $13.99.
Yeah, I'm sure I can get that here. I'll have to pick up a bottle.
Even have a locator tool on their website.
Oh, great. Even better.
So let's see. As far as whiskey goes, I started doing the Scotch taste challenges this morning. That was a total fiasco because, I mean, the challenge was fine, but there was no kind of challenge. I was saying DW Dance. No, it's JW Dance. JW Dance, it's nice, but against Buchanan's 12-year, the Buchanan's Deluxe.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, John. On aroma only, I was like, that's Buchanan's Deluxe. That's JW Dance. I mean, that fast.
Buchanan's is such a fine blended Scotch whiskey. You get all that peat, that smokiness. It's hard to it's hard to not be. I mean, if you were to get that one wrong, I would be, I'd be concerned.
I mean, I had it in 10 seconds, 5 seconds. But on its own merits, JW Dance standalone is nice. But it starts to break down when you put it into the challenges. Then forget it.
I saw you posted the King Square video on the Anti-War channel, so the 17-minute version. So I'm gonna have to check that out.
Oh man, that thing was so long. And then I did a shortened version that's only 10 minutes long. You know? But I couldn't really rush too fast because it's too involved. You know, it's too much involved with it. But I think in the taste challenges that could be interesting. But then you have a more even playing field there. You know, a more level playing field. The next taste challenge I have for Scotch is Cutty Sark versus JW Dan. That will be a fairer challenge, but I still think Cutty Sark will win. But Cutty Sark ain't exactly setting my world on fire, you know.
Yeah, I remember that one as being a little bit more spirit driven. It didn't really have a lot of complexity. Just honestly, I thought the Clan McGregor was better, and it was about $8-9 cheaper here for the bottle. So
yeah, it's a
Cutty
good.
Sark, for whatever reason, is at a premium price point here. I mean, not premium, not super premium, but I guess middle of the road. You know, you're $20 to $23 a bottle.
Yeah, it's like $12.99 here.
That's crazy. But then again, the Scoresby is higher there, and then it's dirt cheap here. So
yeah, it's like flipped. But I still have all of those, and I have this channel here that's an overflow channel. So if you ever want to do any of those here, because you know, in the main channel, people will get tired of it. They'll say, "Oh, not this again." You know, I can understand that. But I think there is some merit to doing second, third, fourth, fifth time, because a lot of times you'll pick up things that you just don't pick up on one go round.
right. Oh yeah, if we were to do like the Canadian Limited again on this channel, and you compared it to the one that we did on your other channel months back, I would have my opinion of that product as I drank down the bottle changed pretty drastically.
Yeah,
so you know, yeah.
Yeah, so I still have all that stuff. So anytime you feel like looking at any of those things, just let me know, because we could do it on the overflow channel here at Anti-War. Yes, I want to let the viewers know I'm going to do a lot of political stuff. Well, I don't know about a lot, an amount of it, but not just to be doing. I got to think of something good to talk about. I'm not just going to talk about humdrum stuff just to say I made content. That's crazy. But yeah, any of those things you ever get an idea you want to examine, talk about, just let me know. I'm game for that kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this channel exists, so there you go. So anyway, I have. I think tonight I'm going to round it out with Keystone Ice 2 times. You know,
nice.
one can, and then say 2 hours later another can, and that'll be it for the night. Then tomorrow, a little bit of the Livingston Cellars, my typical 2 or 3 ounces. Then one beer here, and then one beer at the Knights. But I'll tell you what, if their beers are expired, I'm not drinking them, because I went there a month ago. Everything was expired. Michelob Ultra, Bud Light, Miller Lite, Coors Light. So
I was so upset the other day. You know, I'll stop by this gas station on my way to work a lot of times. It was actually the one that we went to when you were in the area, and I bought a drink, just like I think it was an energy drink, and bought it. You know, got home, or not, got to work, cracked it open, started drinking it, and it tasted rancid. Well, I look at the bottom of the can, and the best by date was from September 1st or 2nd of 2016. I could not. And then I tried to take the can back, and they wouldn't give me my money back. So I told them, I said, well, you just lost my business. I'm not going to, you know, I'll go to another gas station. I said, I'm not going to continue to buy these products, you know, because the Rolling Rock I got from that gas station that I did with William Kepley, that was 2016 as well. I mean, they're keeping this stuff on the shelf.
That's
well
crazy.
After it's
no,
specified.
There's no excuse for that. So and I run across this more and more these days. Because like I said, it's a flooded market, so every store's got tons of stuff they can't get rid of. Now, but hey, that's not my problem. And I'm sick of this outdated stuff. And I drank that Bud Light at the Knights of Columbus last month, and it was out of date, and it tasted terrible.
Yeah.
Horrible. So when people say age matters, they're right. I mean, I drank it, but I did not enjoy it at all. And I said, you know what? If I go there Friday night and everything is expired, I'm not going to make a comment because they'll drink it. I mean, they don't care. I'll just look at the can and say, nah. If they make a comment and notice me looking, what's wrong? I'm going to say, nothing. I'm just going to drink water.
Yeah.
No comment. I'm not going to make a comment. I'm just going to drink water. Now, I might go around the corner and get some of that Johnny Walker Red Label and pour 20% Johnny Walker and 80% water. I might do that because honestly, that's a great whiskey. That's the only time I tried it at the Knights Hall. And that's the base model. You know, the Red Label's the base model. But man, for a basic thing, I can see why it's the #1 whiskey and Scotch whiskey in the world. That stuff's dynamite. And people make comments, well, it's just Red Label. Yeah, but it's an awesome basic Scotch. So I can't imagine what the Black Label, the double black, the green, and of course the Red Label's $2.50 a bottle. I can't imagine what those taste like, but it's got to be awesome.
The Blue Label, you mean the Johnny Walker Blue?
Oh, what did I say?
I think you said the red again, but you're talking about the Blue Label. Yeah, that's.
Sorry, I meant to say the Blue Label. The blue is
stuff. Ooh, if I ever see that on sale, I'm picking. I'm grabbing that.
The blue is actually the top of the regular stuff because they have stuff that's way above that. But then, you know, it's like I'm not paying $1,500 a bottle. You know, like I can go to Dorknax and they got Hennessy and Remy Martin. They've got them for like $3,900 a bottle, $39.95. It's like I don't mean $39.95. I mean $3,995.
Oh.
It's like I don't think so. But that's the truth. So, but man, maybe I'm hoping that the beer will be out of date. No, I'm just kidding. So I get that Red Label. So that's the story. So it's all of that's open up to your perusal if you want to do examination of any of that stuff, you know.
Yeah, we can start going through some of the ones. I've still got the Scoresbys. I've got some of the. Yeah, I've got a few. I can send you a message with all the ones that I still have some left of.
Oh yeah, that'd be a good idea. Go ahead and do that. And I'm thinking about 40 minutes. I got a Major League Baseball playoff game starting. I'm probably going to watch some of that. All right. Well, yeah.
The Braves, I think, are playing today, so I'm excited about that. Yeah.
The second game is on the Major League Baseball Network, which I don't have, and I'm not paying money for that, so I'll just look at the highlights tomorrow. Well, it's fun having you on this alternate channel.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me. Kind of, yeah, just a random thing, and I enjoyed it. It worked out perfectly because I've got a few Icehouse left in the fridge, so I enjoy talking about these standby beers like this. So.
And here's some comments. You said, why not? Just a minute. And then Joe says, it was terrible. It was a terrible decision when they experimented with that 6.9. Oh, that was a disaster. I remember when they first started talking about it, I got the 6-month alert because I used to do that, be on that panel when they used to have it.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew about it, but they were saying, you can't tell anybody. But I didn't tell anybody. I just said, when you hear about it, you're going to be shocked. Oh, they were shocked, all right, and they were not happy. It was a disaster, and then their sales plummeted. So they, less than what, 6 months, they said, okay, 5.5 is back.
Yep. Didn't take very long. It was a disaster for the company, but the actual product, the beer itself, was pretty good. It would have been good if they marketed it a little differently and kept the 5.5 on the shelf and just.
They could have had it like Icehouse Extra or something. Icehouse Extra.
Yeah. Or super bold or something like that.
Yeah, and they could have had Milwaukee's Best Ice Extra.
Yeah.
3 levels, but they don't think creatively like we do. All right. Well, thanks for watching, people. And we don't get a lot of viewers on this channel yet because most people don't know about it. But that'll change over time. All right. So that's it. Later, folks.